The state election campaign in Queensland officially begins tomorrow. Look, it's been going on for a little while anyway, unofficially. The opposition leader, David Crisafulli, he's starting a day early, revealing a plan for early intervention on youth crime. He's trying to divert more young people from contact with the youth justice system. He was speaking about the plan in Cairns earlier today.
Ultimately, in the long term, there's fewer victims. And everything we do when it comes to youth crime needs to be about creating fewer victims. Laura's articulated it perfectly. She said what those KPIs are. And one of the things remiss of me not to say is I want to see monthly reporting of those KPIs. I think that's important.
Joining me, our Courier Mail State Political Editor Hayden Johnson. I was interested in hearing about this because a lot of what the LNP's spoken about is being tougher when it comes to, for example, tackling youth crime. This is more a prevention strategy. You know, every stat you see, once someone has contact with the criminal justice system, it tends to be not their first contact. So is this sort of them having another element to their policy, not just the tough on crime, but a holistic approach, do you think?
Yeah, I do, Tom. You're absolutely right. So David Crisafulli has made crime the centrepiece of his election commitment. He's been criticised, though, for going too hard, for using four-word slogans. Stakeholders have raised fears that his policies will just simply put more people in youth detention, more young kids in detention. So this, I think, is a little bit about kind of placating that criticism and trying to double barrel it, ensuring that not only are people being diverted away from crime, but then when people do get to the point where they can't be rehabilitated, his argument is that they should be in prison. They shouldn't be a threat to Queensland's community. It's an issue that's going to be the hot button issue of this election campaign in Queensland.
Okay, Labor revealing its tax plan, and also, of course, we're getting an idea for how much Labor policies cost. We've spoken on the show a few times about how generous a lot of it's been, but, you know, a lot of it matched as well by the other side.
Yeah, absolutely. This is interesting from the Labor government. They've put out their costings before the campaign's officially begun, and that's, I think, to wedge the opposition. David Crisafulli was under pressure yesterday to explain how he'd pay for his promises. He wasn't able to do so. So the state government's really trying to turn this into their own election issue where they can find some chink in the armour of the LNP. And you're absolutely right. They've announced their tax policy. The Treasurer, Cameron Dick, says no new taxes on small business, no taxes on medium business, but notably he didn't extend the same promise to big business. So there is that fear, I think, if you are a big business here in Queensland, that you'll be slapped with something in the next 4 years if Labor's elected. The LNPs tried to neutralise the tax issue. They've pledged to abolish the patient tax. They say under them it'll be $30 cheaper to visit a GP from July next year.
Okay, and the other thing Labor is doing is its campaign launch. It's in Cairns. What do we read into this? Do they see these seats as more salvageable than the Townsville seats, do you think? Or am I getting too specific there?
I think you've hit the nail on the head, Tom. They had their regional campaign launch in Cairns. So there's 4 seats up there that Labor holds, and there's 3 of them that they're convinced they're going to lose privately. There's one tourism minister up there, Michael Healy, who holds the seat of Cairns. He's kind of the last hope for Labor in that region. They've got the retiring speaker. They've got some seats there held on fairly thin margins. The Torres Strait Islander seat held by Cynthia Louis is under threat. So I think we can read fairly deeply and fairly simply into this, that Labor is focusing on Cairns. They are going to fight in Townsville, but anybody you talk to in the Labor Party acknowledges that Townsville is a fairly lost cause there at the moment.
But not quite giving up, because what about this move? Stephen Miles is thinking about trying to suspend the Townsville mayor. What's going on here, and could it actually happen?
Oh, look, I think the cynic in me, Tom, questions the timing of it. For about 4 months, the Premier has insisted that they need to follow proper process. The Crime and Corruption Commission is looking at this matter involving the Townsville mayor, but on the eve of an election, the Premier comes out today and says nothing's done yet. Cabinet's just breaking up as we speak, but he's likely to move against Troy Thompson, he said, after consulting his Townsville MPs and Nick Demetto from the Katters Australian Party. That could be a powerful block of votes come October 26. After speaking with them, the Premier says it's time to act. So I think we can question the timing of the Premier's move here.
Fair enough. All right, Hayden, well, it officially begins tomorrow. We'll continue to chat to you through this.